Grace and peace, everyone. My name is Madra. I have a message that will bless you. If you're an anointed child of God, if you're a chosen one that's a big giver, you have problems setting boundaries, you give all the time, but you have a problem receiving and resting, I have a message for you. So self-protection is actually a form of love that God is going to develop in you. God says, love Him, love yourself, and love others, okay? So I saw a porcupine and it reminded me about self defense and self preservations. You know, those quills or the sticky parts on a porcupine that protects the porcupine. They're animals that are gentle in nature, but they have a strong defense mechanism that will tear something up if it tries to mess with it. And you know, wisdom from God is depicted in nature. We can get a lot of wisdom from God from just being aware of how things operate in the natural world. And so when he created the porcupine, he made it with a unique defense mechanism. And it reminds me about personal boundaries, yes, and self-protection practices. We have to learn to embrace standing up for ourselves when we need to. And I feel that somebody on the other end of that camera is coming into a season where God is training you in this area. God wants you to stand up for yourself more when necessary in a non-aggressive way. He wants you to do it in a kind way, but in a truthful way. He wants you to speak the truth in love and draw those boundaries that will preserve you and protect you in a way that you need to do, especially as you walk out your calling. Everyone feels vulnerable at times. That's normal. But you have the divine right to set healthy boundaries just for your own well-being. So if you are a giver by nature, I encourage you to develop these type of things that will protect you. You need to get in touch with your values. You need to become aware of your needs and your limits, the things that trigger you, so that you can, once you identify them, you can kindly communicate them to other people. So the things that you don't compromise on won't be intruded upon, okay? But you have to identify it first so that you can lovingly communicate these things. It's not about blaming. It's not about guilt tripping others. It's about teaching others how to treat you. It's about teaching them how to respect your time, your privacy, and your values. So live a powerful life like Jesus did. He wants us to set those boundaries. The Bible is a book of boundaries. It's a book of love. It's a book of how we define relationships with others and with God. And so Jesus would withdraw himself very often just to pray and rest on high places in the mountains so that he could be able to continue to pour out into others. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to pour into yourself before you can pour into others as a chosen vessel of God. One example is to set in internet boundaries. Okay. So you might limit the amount of time that you spend on social media or platforms. You can unfollow accounts that trigger negative emotions. You can choose to engage only in respectful conversations and comment chains. You can withdraw and do a digital detox on a regular basis. There are tons of ways to draw and practice healthy boundaries. Okay. So you can have them in relationships. You can have boundaries on your job. You can have them at church. You can have them with your own health. God wants somebody to know that as you continue on in your purpose and finding out your calling, you're going to have to develop this self-love within yourself so you can protect your well-being and be able to pour out to others. Thank you so much for listening. I'm praying for you. See you in the next one.